Hi everyone, Rachel here. This is just a short clip created by me, a complete novice, to introduce you to the idea of flipped learning. So let's go. Let's start with this question. What is flipped learning? What does it look like? Flipped learning is where we reverse what we do for homework and what we do in class. A flipped classroom is a learning environment where students learn new content first on their own by watching a video lecture or some sort of online clip or information source, and then they do the problem-solving activities in the classroom where the teacher can give professional assistance. Students at home are able to learn at their own pace. They can pause, think, rewind and re-listen until they get the concept. They can also write down questions that they have and need answered when they come to class. So this means that learning has been flipped from delivering the lecture or instructions in the classroom and giving the problem-solving activities for homework where the students are alone to setting the homework as watching the clip and perhaps answering some simple quiz questions or taking some notes, which is hopefully a lot easier and more likely that the kids will want to do it. And then back in class, the classwork is applying the knowledge learned. So for example, solving problems, preparing written responses, doing group work, holding discussions or debate, working in groups, as I've already said, practical activities and so forth. So there's more time, in fact, for student-centred activities and engagement and teacher working one-on-one with students. So one advantage is the teacher has more time to move around the classroom and get to speak to every student individually, helping every student with specific issues or questions that they have. And so you really get to know the students and how they learn. Another advantage is that there's more time for practical activities. So you free up that time for students to really get stuck into the practical work and for teachers to be able to then again assist students. Where I've used flipped learning is with my Year 12 economics class. As I said before, I am just a novice, so I've focused on my Year 12 economics class and on being able to use the flipped learning to explain the difficult concepts and to explain the links, the relationships and theory. And it's been really successful, and I've had great feedback from my students, and certainly they're using it, for example, in their trial preparation. And now to issues. Some of these issues are going to be at the back or forefront of your mind. There's the issue of time, how to get time to do this flipped learning stuff, to learn the technology and so forth. There's the issue of technology, access to devices for students, access to internet at home to watch videos, for example. There's the issue of homework, what happens when students haven't done their homework, shock horror, what do we do about it and how do we move on with the lessons. And of course there's the issue of putting yourself out there, whether or not you feel comfortable doing what I'm doing, for example, and perhaps having your image out there, or perhaps not being perfect at what you're doing but just having a go at it anyway. So in addressing these issues, I guess I'll just say very briefly, time, it does take time. My recommendation would be keep it simple, do what is easy, what is easy first. I've found the easiest and fastest and less time-consuming way to do my flipped videos is to video my lessons. That's what takes the least time. You're doing it in class, so it just makes it easier. Access to technology, I guess there's issues there around the use of iPhones, for example, rather than necessarily devices. There's also the possibility that you could put USB with the clips on a USB for students who don't have internet access at home. And then, of course, I guess there's the library and the school library and other libraries and so forth. I guess the same issues that students without internet access at home are going to have. But we definitely need to be mindful of that. In terms of homework, Well, obviously you would just follow your usual procedures of students in terms of reminders and sending letters home, that kind of thing. The other thing that you can do is provide, say, a 15-minute time whereby those students that haven't done the homework, of course it gets recorded and the letters will go home and so forth, but they are sitting perhaps at the back of the room listening to the clip for 15 minutes while the rest of the class is getting on with being assisted and helped by their teacher. So the issue of not doing homework doesn't need to stop everything and doesn't need to stop everybody. Finally, in terms of putting yourself out there, where you can just take the take the challenge and just jump in like I have. Can be a bit embarrassing, but I've just done it. Or the other alternative is you can find other videos and clips that other people have done. Problem with that can be is that you don't quite like what they're saying or how they're doing it, but that is definitely a way to get started, is use other people's videos so that you don't feel that you have to be the one up there. So just on that last point, you could find a video that explains, say, tariffs, such as this, although you might not be too impressed by the couture of your instructor. Or, as I said, you can just put yourself out there and go for it. That's what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm not perfect, I'm no expert at it, but it's kind of fun. Just to let you know, I've used 3 different types of technology so far. I've used an app called Screencast-O-Matic to make clips. I've used very briefly, and I need to work on this, green screen, and I know that Dom is in the process of setting up or creating a studio for people to be able to use green screen. And finally, I've used majorly for this little clip, I've used an app called Explain Everything. So whatever you choose to do or not to do, good luck.